So if I could describe my trading day in one word today, it would be frustrating. A very frustrating day for me, some killer opportunities, and I got stuck in one that just sort of held me in all day. I started the day with a killer AMD trade. I have that trade live, and I will share it with you in today's video. Awesome, about a $5,000 there, $5,000 win there on AMD. Next, I looked for a break and retest of a previous day low on Tesla. Tesla pretty much kept me in the trade all day, ended up doing exactly what I wanted to see it do, but I did take this trade off after getting a decent move to the downside. I was in it for so long, and I was getting a little bit frustrated in its price action. I took the trade off, just sort of minimized the risk, accepted that I might not be right, and just sort of took it off and moved forward. Ended up doing exactly what I wanted it to do. A little bit frustrating there, but I am happy to see that my idea was right, and I will share it with you in today's video. That was pretty much my entire day. Had a few scalps later day, some QQQ downside, which was really nice, some SPX downside, which I had a really good entry on, but unfortunately, you guys know with SPX, if you're a little bit too far out of the money on those contracts, it's really hard to get them to appreciate, and that's pretty much what happened to me. So I had a perfect entry on that downside later day today. Contracts were too far out of the money, and I never quite got that appreciation that I was looking for. So overall, the last day of the month, frustrating day, and I'm going to break it down as best as I can for you guys today. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys, so as always, we're going to start this video off by me signing into my broker. We're going to look at my positions today, my performance today, and sort of just everything that happened. Overall, not a bad day. In all things considered, I'll take it. I'll accept it. Really, what frustrates me more than anything is the missed opportunities that were right in front of my face that really did work out just as I wanted them to. Just a little bit of a timing, sort of wrong time, wrong place sort of thing that just sort of causes me to be less profitable than I would have liked. That's really the best way I can do it, right? Raw emotion there. That's really how I feel right now. So here's my account. You guys can see it right here. On the day, realized 1.1, unrealized as of right now down 1.6. These are become some SPX contracts that I just pretty much held into close. Had a perfect entry on those SPX contracts, but did not have the right contract. Too far out of the money on those. Had the 4840s. The 4860s is where I should have been. So a little bit of a mistake there. QQQ, nice put there, $926. Some AMD shares that I was able to trade today. $4,900 on AMD puts. This was a killer trade today. $1,400 on that Netflix swing trade that we talked about in the live stream this morning. Very nice there. The big Tesla loss of $6,000, something that we will break down in today's video. So I want to make something very clear, right? I'm taking larger size positions. And in terms of percentage points, right, this is all within my risk tolerance. You can see that 4,000 to 6,000 mark is around where I was today, either up or down, Tesla being a loser. So on the day, pretty much flat. Big numbers, but it's all within that percentage point tolerance of the account size. So that is my day today. So frustrating, right? And a lot of these trades could have been very, very nice. I'll break down sort of what went wrong on them. So, guys, I'll go ahead and pull up TradeZella. You guys can see here, took that loss on SPX today, big loss on Tesla, and then pretty much the whole day just completely flat. A whole lot of time, a whole lot of mental capital for pretty much nothing today. A great month, nonetheless, about $75,000 on the month. Definitely my best month ever. Very pleased with it. You guys have seen on this channel the trades, the live logins. You've seen it all on the channel. A really good month for me. But today, definitely one that I wish I could take back, right? Definitely one I wish I could get a little bit better on. So SPX, you can see that was my loss. That's my full loss there on SPX. Just held those till close. Tesla, the put option that I had there, took a loss on that one. AMD was the big winner here, about $4,700 on AMD. With that said, let's go ahead and start breaking down some of these trades. Let's start with the AMD trade, which was the best trade of the day. Was a really nice one. I'll go ahead and pop into that AMD here, and we can review what I was looking for and why. I need to bring my face back. Why I was looking to play that rejection. So here's AMD, guys. You can see right in here. I'll go ahead and scroll up a little bit. I was taking entries here around that 169, 170 area on AMD, looking for that downside move, and got a very nice 25% scalp on that, about a $4,700 profit. So let's jump into the charts and let's talk through why I took that AMD rejection. So here's the 5-minute chart on AMD. Let's go ahead and zoom in, and let's take a look at this trade. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the after hours, get them highlighted so we can see that. And here you go, guys. So here was the previous day low on AMD, right? We had a previous day low around that 169, 170 area. This morning, we had a quick aggressive pop into that level, and you guys know what I look for, right? If I see a previous low, if I see us break under it, I'm looking for the retest and the rejection. So I saw AMD pushing to the upside. I saw a previous day low here. I saw this rejection start to step up, and I was starting to enter puts here on AMD today. I have this trade recorded live, so make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. You can see how that all went down. So after taking this AMD put, I was looking for the same exact thing to start to happen on Tesla. So here's Tesla, right? And we can see we had this previous day low on Tesla right around this 191 level. Right in this general area, we had a previous low on Tesla, right? Right here, previous low, right around that 191 level. So what did I see on Tesla? I saw pretty much the same exact thing. I saw Tesla push to the upside right into that 191, and I started to enter puts in this area. Now, as Tesla was sort of maintaining, I was sort of adding to this position over time, trying to get a better average, looking for that 191 level to reject. Now, after maintaining this position for a very long time, I was starting to see and starting to realize that Tesla just was not falling, right? Every time it would drop, it would hold back up. And it was just sort of this constant grind to the upside that really was frustrating to watch. Now, after sitting in this trade, I was sort of reassessing some things, looking at the chart, and looking at this level right here. You guys can see this was 192.30. And yesterday, it is very clear that you had rejections at that 192.30 level. Not only was this a rejection late day on Tesla, but these were also some previous lows on Tesla right in here. So I said to the group, hey, I'm going to hold these puts until 192.30. I'm going to wait and see if that's the rejection level. I'll withstand this trade. I'll sit in some drawdown, and I'll look to see if this is where it's going to reject. Now you can see, ultimately, we got that rejection right here, and I was able to recoup some of these losses, but it was just not enough for me to be fully back to break even or be profitable. So if I pull up TradeZella, I will go ahead and go into that loss. A pretty big loss for me, in terms of dollar amount size, but for the account, pretty much within the parameters of what I can make, right? So if I can make $5,000 on a trade, then I'm okay losing $5,000 on a trade. That's going to have to be how it is. If I'm going to want to scale up and make some of these days bigger, right? If I'm going to try to be a little bit of a larger trader here, I'm going to have to be comfortable with these types of losses. So you can see right here, guys, I was pretty much scaling into Tesla on every pop because I had a lot of confidence that it would reject first this 191 level, which was right here. And then second, it was that 192.30 level. So let me move this down, right? I was first looking for this 191 rejection, and then I was looking for this 192.30 rejection. Oh, actually right here, 192.30, and then originally it was that 191. So 191 was where I originally wanted to see it reject, and because of that, I was sort of scaling into puts as we pushed into those highs, right? I was sort of getting an average around that 191 level, looking, right, for this breakdown. I was looking for this breakdown right here. I'll go back to the charts and drop into the 5-minute chart, right? I was basically looking for Tesla to create somewhat of a bear flag into that previous day low, right? Right in here, I was looking for Tesla to bear flag into that previous day low and look to see if this would drop to the downside, right? And this was sort of an early afternoon trade that I wanted to see work out early in the morning. Now, unfortunately, Tesla did not do this until after FOMC. And that's the thing that's sort of frustrating, right? It was just timing was off on this trade. So you can see what we did. We popped into that 192.30, right? And we got that rejection. And when we got that rejection, you can see right here, I was pretty much getting fully out of my position. So I was getting fully out of my position after that 192.30 rejection, all in here around that 2:30 time frame, because number one, I was getting back to, a better profit and loss. I was happy with where I was. I was making back some of my losses. And I knew, right, in the back of my mind that we're in the middle of FOMC. There's a lot of risk here. And I probably should be looking to take this risk off, right? And so I'm not that upset when I relook at this, because if I look at this pop right here, all right, this big squeeze right here around 230, right? There was no way that I would have been holding through this, right? I would have absolutely been taking losses here on this push higher. Now, of course, you can see later day it comes right back down, but I have to be realistic with myself, right? If I wasn't taking size off here and I was still holding full size through this rip to the upside, there was probably no way that I could have withstood that rip to the upside. So was it likely that I would have been ever a part of this drop on Tesla today? Probably not, right? Because my original plan was 191 rejections or 192.30 rejections, and we saw it. I took my profits in here, or not profits, I took contracts off here, took that contract off, reduced my size. We got a big rip. There was no way I was holding through that, and we saw that drop ultimately come in. So, again, right, just a really frustrating trade, because I think when I look back at this chart, right, there was a lot of reasons for Tesla to turn this into a rejection right here, these lows into a rejection, right, and that's what I was originally playing off of, that 191, and it just did not come in, and I sort of just got squeezed out of it, really. So a loss on Tesla, it's a textbook setup, right, in terms of the break and retest. I'll go ahead and go into the 5-minute chart again. It was a previous day low to reject, which is the same thing that happened on AMD, right? AMD was a previous day low to reject, which happened very quickly and very aggressively for me. Now Tesla just did not do it, and I take my loss on this trade and I move on. So the next pretty frustrating trade, guys, is another one that I'll just be fully open with you on, is this SPX put right here. And this SPX put, it was just a matter of taking the wrong contracts. And you can see, look at how well, right? Look at this, right? I have these entries on SPX, this entry on SPX. SPX ended lower, right? You can see, you're like, why did he lose if he shorted here and it went straight down, right? That's strange. That is because of theta decay, right? And that is because of taking too far out of the money contract on SPX. A mistake of mine, and I'll share with you what a better contract did off this entry. So you can see right there, right? I took some SPX puts right around that 48.70 level. Why did I take those SPX puts? Let's go ahead and break down the S&P 500 futures. Actually, what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the SPY ETF, because I think the SPY ETF actually shows it even better for you guys. Why did I take those SPY SPX ES puts, right? Why was I looking for downside on the S&P 500? Well, here it is, guys, right? You can see right here. This is the SPY ETF end of day. And I saw us break, right? I saw us break this previous low, that FOMC 2 o'clock low, right? Around 2 o'clock, we had some really strong demand stepping up here around this 485.60 level. Now, what happened around 2:30, 3 o'clock? We got that drop below that level. So, break and retest, right? Break of this level. We break that level. We come back up and we retest it. We look for that bear flag to set up, which is what happened perfectly, right? We have that previous low. We do that break. We do that retest. We enter puts here, and we look for that drop. That is textbook my trading strategy, right? Textbook. And this is exactly, if I pull up TradeZella, this is exactly where I entered those puts on SPX, right there, right around that 215, 230, or sorry, 315, 330. That is exactly where I was entering those SPX puts, right in this area. Now, the reason that this did not work for me is because the contracts that I had, which were the 48.40s, were too far out of the money, and they did not appreciate on this move lower. So I'll go to SPX, and I will go to the options, right? And we'll see the options premium on the 48.40s just did not react to that drop. So here they are right here. You can see I was in these around 330, which was right around here. And you can see I just never got that upside move. Now, if I go to the 48.60s, right, it's a whole different story. This is where I was entering, right in this area, right around that $2 time frame, $2 on SPX on the 48.60s. And you can see those went up to 16. So from $2 to $16, right, is the trade that I took. But unfortunately, I took these contracts, which were too far out of the money, versus these. So if there's anything that you take away from this SPX trade, guys, it is that you cannot go too far out of the money on these, even if you're right on the trade, which I was 100% correct on, right? I was in a perfect entry point on these SPX puts, but I took too far out, didn't have enough time for these to work, and that is how I end up with a full loss on those SPXs. Unfortunate, frustrating, but you know what? I know that what I'm looking at here, what I'm looking for in this trade was correct, right? I know that the break and retest worked perfectly on the underlying asset, and it's just a matter of my decisions with the incorrect contract is what leads to that loss, right? It's not my strategy. It's not what I'm looking for. I know that that's correct, but my decision on the contract was incorrect, and that's why it led to that loss. So guys, overall, just again, a frustrating day. And I wanted to share it with you. I'll be fully open with you. Tesla lost that SPX trade. Unfortunate, killer AMD trade. And I'll share those with you today at the end of today's video. So you'll see the live trade on AMD. I'm not going to share that whole live trade on Tesla, guys. It's about a 4-hour trade. I can't share that whole thing. I'll try to find some snippets of it that I can share with you for you to see me entering and maybe some of those exits if I have them recorded. But we'll go ahead and share some of the live trades from today after I end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you can see that recap. Hopefully you can understand some of the trades I took, take some value out of it. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. You know, AMD could be a rejection level here at 170, guys. I sort of like that, actually. That's previous day lows. I'm going to watch this AMD here. Previous day lows. Yeah, I'm going to take some AMD puts here, guys. I'm taking some AMD 165 puts. Stop over 170. That's a break and retest of previous day lows, and that's a very aggressive move into it. So I'm looking for some kind of a pullback here off 170. That's a retest of previous day lows on AMD 170. I'd like to start seeing some sort of upper wicks here on this AMD 170 level. Some wicks up here would be nice. Sort of like that right there. I'd like to see those wicks continue to come in. On Netflix? Alright, AMD looks really good. Very happy with what I'm seeing here on AMD still. Nvidia's also rejecting, so I like that. Like right there. Right there, half off. Come on, AMD, break this low for me. NASDAQ, beautiful rejection. Oh, yeah. I need this low break, though. You could take some off here again if you'd like on AMD. All right, AMD, nice break. Up 30% on AMD. Good time to take more off here. Taking some more off as well. I'm starting to scale out. Yep. 41%. There it is. Let's go. Nice. Nice trade. Nice trade.